TOTO Japan Classic, part of the race to the CME Globe.
Saturday at the TOTO Japan Classic produced an Aussie assault. Around the challenging setter layout, Minji Lee put together one of her finest rounds, a virtually flawless 8 under par 64, stealing a march on the rest of the field. She leads by 3 heading into Sunday, and past performances say when she's a front runner, she is usually a winner. But a couple of the young Japanese brigade will make sure Minji won't have it all her own way. 20-year-old Sakura Koiwai leads the chasing pack, finishing a second round 66 in the best possible fashion. At 10 under, she heads the remainder of the field. And 1 year her junior, Nasa Hataoka, also provides the locals with plenty of optimism. It's already been $1 million season for the 19-year-old, and a second Lpga Victory is within reach. The top 5 also includes the likes of Jie Shin in search of a remarkable 54th worldwide victory. And Spanish star Carlotta Segunda drawing on not only her great talent but the wisdom of legendary bagman Terry Mcnamara, whose knowledge and history around this place is unmatched. It's the 4th week of the late season Asian swing, and once again it's been quality all the way. Welcome to Seta Golf Course near the beautiful city of Kyoto. This is the final round of the 2018 TOTO Japan Classic. So far, and the answer is plenty, and it's affected the top of the leaderboard. And we go to the first, and Momoko Ueda, who missed the green at the back, but took the putter out and rolled it in for an early birdie. Ali Whitaker joins me in the commentary box, and a few, Ali, starting to make a move in this final round.
That's going to be key today, especially given the lead that Minji Lee had at day's start. This from Jennifer Song. You could say she's the forgotten member of the band from the playoff at the ANA Inspiration early on this season, and that was a fantastic approach shot there at the 6th. She'd go on to birdie the hole.
Here's Amy Yang, also at the 6th. We know her ability to string birdies together when she gets in the mood. And I think you could safely say they had that hole covered at 6, and Amy went on to make her birdie.
Momoko Ueda, 2-time champion in this event, also off to a decent start. That at the 6th to get back to red figures for her round today.
Well, let's not go anywhere from the 6th, because everybody was putting it up into birdie range. Hee Kyung Bae amongst them, and she rolled in a birdie putt there as well.
Incredibly, through 3 holes today, Minji Lee had a 1-shot lead, and then everything changed after the 6th for Nasa Hataoka. Look at that.
And what that means is we have had a 5-shot turnaround at the top. Nasa Hataoka, 3 under par for the day. Minji Lee, 2 over par for the day. But the charges are coming from Carlotta Segunda and from Jennifer Song as well. But Nasa Hataoka, the 19-year-old in front of her home galleries, has the lead by a shot early in the final round. So let's go out to the golf course and check in on the action. Mo Martin has come up with the second shot at this hole that is down near the front. The pin is cut 25 on, so it's probably every bit of about 60 feet. And what a beautifully judged putt that was from Mo. Already a great highlight in her week with a hole-in-one at the 9th on the first day. Enjoying not only the week on the golf course, but also the week in Japan, as all of the players are just loving what they're experiencing this week. I
think everyone wishes there was more events on the schedule in this country. It's not one to miss. Shan Shan on 12. That would have been pretty special had it dropped. Shan Shan 2 under par for her round today. Just the 2 birdies on the card. Started with a birdie, so that always springboards you.
I think she'll be pretty intent on having a good final round too. You always like to do that if you can't win as defending champion. Nice to close with a good one. Big putt here for Jin Young Ko to get herself into the conversation.
We talk about the need for a perfect start. Jin Young actually had a bogey at the first and has had 4 birdies since then.
She's going to need everything to go right, but she's within 4.
Oh, just down the side there from Mummy Fukuda.
Okay, I think they've finally worked that out.
Winner on tour this season, the 26-year-old from Japan, Mami. Bit of an opportunity miss there, though. You can see it in her eyes.
Lizette Salas has come up with a really good approach, almost hole high at 11. And they are fast, the greens, but they run truly. And I think that's one thing that the players have been talking about. Unhappy day for this young woman.
Genuinely not the start that Pernilla Lindberg was looking for. Five over par for her round today.
And she was 5 over par for the round after 3 holes. Started par, triple bogey, double bogey. That makes for a long day. Jin Young taps in, remains 4 back from the lead, having already captured the Louise Suggs Rolex Rookie of the Year title. Nobody can catch her. What a year it's been. $1 million plus, more than 10 top 10 finishes.
No trouble cleaning up for Shan Shan Fung. A lot of people had their eye on her after her back-to-back wins in this event.
Good 2-putt from Lily, and she remains at -4. Very accurate day from Lizette yesterday, hitting 17 greens in regulation. One of 3 players to do that, Brooke Henderson and Wei Ling Shi being the other 2.
Interestingly enough, Mo wasn't actually in this event until she finished runner-up at the Evian Championship. So, nice little pick-up there and an extra event on the season.
Been a nice little pick-up for Nasa Hataoka. Pick up 3 birdies in the first 7 holes, and you're going to be right in contention. Now, there is one name that is not on that board. Minji Lee of Australia has had a double bogey at the 7th hole. My goodness, it is all beginning to fall apart for Minji Lee. And from being leader, she finds herself now in a tie for 4th, but she finds herself 3 shots off the lead. Could hardly have been a more dramatic start for the Australian. It is Nasa Hataoka of Japan who leads by 2. This week for the Lpga entourage, they get to experience the beauty of Japan, the welcoming nature of the people. The food is always a feature when you come to this part of the world, and there are so many spectacular and dramatic sights. And when the trees and the flowers are in full bloom, there are few more beautiful places on earth. And what a pleasure it is to be here this week for the likes of So-Yeon Yu, who's got a birdie opportunity here at the 11th hole. She had one of those days that everybody has yesterday. The harder she tried, the worse it got.
Funny game, golf, in that regard. You can't run faster and try and get the shots back. Playing alongside Teresa Liu and Nelly Corder is So-Yeon Yu.
I love the fact that she kept her composure yesterday, though. That is very much So-Yeon. Jin Young at the 12th. 163 is the magic number. And her distance control was just about perfect.
Very difficult hole location to get to on that left side today. And this one, not easy either. Nelly Corder's done a good job of it to get to here. Her ball striking last week was so impressive en route to her first win on the Lpga.
148 to the front for Mo, and for everybody else for that matter. 15 on, 4 from the left, as Ali said, tucked over that bunker. So we'll see a few right of the flag, but Mo's taken a more direct line. It's a pretty good tee shot.
After a little trouble off the tee, Teresa Liu to save her par. And she'll stay at level par for her round today.
Only hit 8 fairways yesterday, Teresa. Was that seen the line that you have to take if you're going to be bold and go at the flag, and she did. Comes up with a very good shot. Chance of a 2 for Lizette Salas, and that would get her back where she started at 5 under.
Nothing held back from Charlie Hull. Might just creep on over. 19th on the money list so far this season is Charlie.
And even par for the day, having made a bogey at the 8th hole and picked the shot back up at the 10th. Wasn't the start that Lexi Thompson was after. She made birdie at the first and made double at the second.
New driver in the bag recently for Lexi. She tried a different one at the start of the year and has upgraded. Seems to be working nicely there at 11.
Wonderful audio and pictures coming from the course from the host broadcaster MBS. We get to hear the impact of club on ball with the likes of Lexi and Charlie especially. Now back to the putting action at the 12th.
The voice of Jeff Brighton on the bag for Jin Young Ko.
Australian Open champion earlier this year. came to prominence about 12 months ago, a little more than 12 months ago, when she won in a brilliant battle in front of her home galleries at the Sky 72 Golf Club in Korea. Jennifer Song making a move. She's got herself up into a tie for 4th place. Started the day at 6. Picked up a birdie straight away at the first. Made another one at 4. Made another one at 6. So she's just 3 shots back from the lead.
Long range birdie attempt for Mo Martin at the 12th. California will be headed back home next week to prepare for the CME Group Tour Championship.
We mentioned she's the most accurate player on tour, 1 in drive accuracy. Naturally enough, we know that she doesn't thump it down there with the Bombers. She's 158th in drive average, but when you can hit it that accurately, it doesn't really matter.
Elegant off the tee.
Yes. Well, she's got a major championship to her credit, so she must have done something right.
She did a lot right that week in 2014, Royal Birkdale.
Not many have been able to get this really close. Probably just about as good as we've seen at the 11th.
Not the easiest green on the golf course. I think we can safely
could say that.
Say that. The 13th. Vanilla Lindbergh. Oh, and that's going to need to settle.
I don't think that's going to hold, no. We were out there in a practice round with the players were looking at a pin placement very close to that the other day, and you can actually hit it out of the bunker at the front, hit it halfway up the green, basically to where that flag is, and you could roll off the green. You can stop any time you like. Thank you.
Severe, a word that springs to mind. Ball well below the feet of Charlie Hull. Should help with the pin in the back right. Maybe a little bit of a glancing blow there. She's enjoyed quite a bit of success herself on this Asian swing, runner-up in Korea just 3 weeks ago, Charlie.
Bold tee shot by Lizette at the 12th. Looking for a turn. Oh, it was working its way back towards the middle of the cup. And that's where they've got to be. If you catch the edge here, not many are going in. Another good year in dollar terms for Lizette. $780,000. She's 21st on the money list. A couple of runner-up finishes at the Indy Women in Tech Championship. Tied 2nd at the Kia Classic.
Second shot for Lexi, and it's a good one. Incredibly, since she's been on tour, she hasn't ever finished worse than 21st on the money list. She's currently 25th this year, but has taken a couple of weeks off for some personal matters throughout the season.
We move ahead to Megan Kang now, who's got a birdie chance at the 14th from long range. Perfect. Haven't seen too many of that length hold this week, certainly today, but that is a good-looking scorecard. Blemish-free, -8, only 4 back. She's running out of holes, though, but she's in for a good payday.
You don't really want to be above the hole, but you want to get it to the hole. So tricky on 13. Big swing from right to left. Even a front hole location on 13 isn't easy. We've seen that in previous rounds, the last 2. This time it's 17 on and 5 from the right, so a little further back.
Back to Charlie at the 11th. 2 putts in reality would be a good result from here. And in all likelihood, 2 putts is exactly what it will be. The young lady from England who likes to get on with things and likes to get up and pull the trigger quickly.
From the right side of the tee box, So Yeon Yu. She looked so solid in that opening round, 65. And first round leader, but fell by the wayside yesterday. Good shot there.
And today hasn't been much better for the world number 3. Had a double bogey of the second, so that derailed things pretty quickly. Jennifer Song making giant strides up the leaderboard. She's picked up more than $500,000 this year to be 37th on the money list. A very good finish at the ANA Inspiration. Also had a top 3 at the Canadian Open.
Incredibly, it's her 5th appearance this week at the TOTO Japan Classic for Jen Song, and her best finish has actually been 48th, which came 3 years ago. So big move in the right direction, at least.
That's going straight at it. That is a brave shot. Very good chance of a birdie coming for the popular Teresa Liu, and that would get her into red figures for the day. We'll be catching up with Nasa Hataoka very shortly in our coverage as she reaches the backside of the golf course. Carlotta Segunda's picked up a couple now, and the gap is only 2 at the top. Nasa Hataoka, at 19 years of age, poised for a big moment in her career. A lot of golf still to be played, but her fans are here in numbers. They're colourful, and she is on the march. She leads by 2. If you want to join the conversation on social media, the hashtag is TOTO Japan Classic, and it's great to have you with us for our final round coverage. It's already been a dramatic final day, so what's in store? Stay with us to find out. Lexi Thompson, excellent approach to 11, knocks it straight in the heart of the hole for a birdie. And so after that early hiccup, Lexi making some good strides towards a recovery.
A really good look at birdie for So Yeon Yu. She takes advantage. In a lot of ways, she and Minji Lee have very similar games, tee to green, and then whether or not they're having good putting weeks sometimes decides for them whether they'll be in contention.
That's a par for Charlie Hull after the first putt was from long range. She finds herself tied 17th at the moment at 6 under.
No one in the field has more appearances in this event than Teresa Liu. her 12th time teeing it up in the TOTO Japan Classic, a former winner as well back in 2013.
She was the last of the players from Chinese Taipei to win on tour. Of course, we had that dominant era from Yani Seng and Candy Kong. At one stage, picked up 3 victories in 1 year when she was dominant. Here's someone who's been around for a while, Ji Lee, but she's got an imposing record. Second shot at the 11th hole. Not the worst spot to leave it. She'll need to be careful with her up and down. 39 years of age. She's another billionaire in terms of yen. 1.147 billion yen in her career.
The languid swing of Amy Yang. And she's done well there from the rough. The zoysia grass is actually going to grab the club even more when it's wet today, so it could become a real feature later on. All important to hit the fairways.
IK unlikely to come up with the victory, especially in light of something that's just happened on the course. We'll bring you up to date with that in a moment. She had the radar locked on and will be putting for birdie. Something that Nasa Hataoka has been able to do at the 9th hole. Her lead is now 3.
Beautiful there from Lizette.
This is what Nasa is doing. We'll be catching up with her shortly when she comes into our camera range. Birdie at 2, birdie at 4, birdie at 6, birdie at 9, outward 9 of 32. And after starting the day 4 shots back from the lead, she now leads by 3. That is something.
What a final day she is putting together. To do it in your home country, no less.
And I've got some more news from out on the course. And if you're a fan of Minji Lee, you might want to go and make a cup of tea. Ji Lee, 3rd shot at 11.
Good shot.
Yes, very nicely done. Minji has just gone through the 8th hole and made a double bogey. She is now 6 over par for the day. After starting the day 3 shots in front, she is now 6 shots behind. That is an unbelievable turnaround. This scorecard is not going to make very good viewing. Bogey at 3, bogey at 4, double at 7, double at 8. Who saw this coming?
Well, when you look at her years so far, the worst score that she's actually shot is a 77. She's already lining up for a 78 unless she can get something back, which is truly mind-boggling.
She must be going through all sorts of mental struggles out there. We'll catch up with her shortly, but back to the action with IK Kim at the 11th. IK is +1 for the day. Dropped a shot at the 2nd. Got it back at the 6th. Gave it back at the 8th. We've talked a few times during our coverage this week of the fact that she's played a restricted schedule this year because of a back injury. That's pretty handy though. Perfectly read. A lot of players have been reading a bit more right to left than is actually there, but that's a great birdie from IK. In line for a good finish already with the UL International Crown Trophy in her pocket.
Megan Kang up ahead at the difficult 15th hole. Lot of club in hand. Tough hole location in the back right today as well. And Megan's done pretty well there.
Amy for birdie.
Just started working with a new coach this month, Sean Hogan, back in October. He's been previous coach to Lydia Ko, Sue O. Seemed to have a little bit of a renewed amount of confidence, Amy. And I caught up with her last week.
Caddy Sean Clues grabs the bag. That was an important putt for Amy. That would have got her to 10 under. And if something happens to Nasser, which is not looking likely at the moment, but then again, we didn't think anything would happen to Minji. Anything's possible on the back nine. Not in the book just yet. This one for par for Minji Lee to remain at -9. So she's done a good job today, having picked up a couple. And she's still in the mix too. It only takes one hole to change everything as far as Nasa Hataoka is concerned. But at the moment, she's looking the goods. She's bolted away to a 3-shot lead.
A good illustration there of the hole location at 11. As we take a look back to the tee, it's a long way up there. Big elevation change.
And here's someone who's getting themselves involved in the conversation. And we thought she might at the start of the day too. Carlotta's picked up 2. Birdie at 3, birdie at 4.
Signature right toe slide for the tee shot of Carlotta Segunda. Just held up in that first cut of rough. Absolutely loves playing in Japan.
And she's got a couple of Japanese players for company today. Momoko Ueda, Saki Nagamine. Here's a look at Lizette's year in numbers. And that birdies count can increase here.
Incredibly, not too many birdies being made on that hole today either. That just the third at the 13th.
We just saw Carlotta tee off at 11, and the news is she's just made a birdie at 10. So the gap is back to 2. This one's not in the book yet. Good looking swing from Saki Nagamine. She's got herself involved in the conversation as well at 10 under, just 3 shots back from the lead. Good angle to come in.
Putting almost straight back across the green, a little left to right if anything for Jin Young Ko. And that's the key to dissecting this golf course, putting yourself in good positions to make aggressive strokes on the greens. Great birdie there.
Momoko has picked up 1. Made birdie at the first. A lot's going to depend on the lie she pulls there. It's just sitting down a little bit. Birdie at the first, gave it back at the third, picked it back up at the sixth.
Can Megan Kang make an elusive birdie at 15? I think too many people would complain with the tap-in par regardless.
That is not such a bad incentive to win the golf tournament if the big check wasn't already enough. The brilliant Mercedes-Benz A-Class, perhaps heading the way of Nasa Hatayoko. Not quite yet though. Her lead is 2 in the final round of the TOTO Japan Classic. Battle for the #1 spot in the Rolex World Rankings has been a fascinating one in recent times, and this week Eri Jutanagan has elevated herself to the #1 ranking for the 3rd time over Sunghyun Park, but that battle will continue all the way down to the wire at the CME Tour Championship in a couple of weeks. So you're not having a happy week. Inby's not here this week. Minji Lee with high hopes of perhaps gaining a place on the Rolex rankings, but they are flying out the window at the moment. Eri Jutanagan, she'll be heading to Blue Bay next week. She's the #1 player in the world at the Rolex rankings standings. Let's join the action out at 11. Saki Nagamine with her second shot. She's not thrilled with it. That one looks like it's going left. Kate Burton comes into the box. Kate, we often say it can be a dramatic game, golf. I doubt that we've seen anything a bit more dramatic than what's happened to Minji Lee so far today.
It can also be a very cruel game to see the world number 5, 6 over par and out of contention. My word. Ueda looking for a strong finish.
In contrast, the other thing that we've seen is another of the fine young players in the game putting her foot down, Nasa Hatayoko.
Isn't she an absolute darling as well? For those people who've been fortunate enough to meet her, she is the most unassuming golfing superstar. Segunda very much in the fray. Be nice to get this close on 11.
Not many have been able to get it in close at 11, as we said. The voice of Terry Mcnamara, who knows this place pretty well.
And the striking figure of So-yeon Yu, who had the first round lead. Struggled on the greens yesterday, and you heard her just say then, go. Oh, the socks are getting longer.
Doesn't matter what she wears on the golf course, she looks stylish.
Just lovely too, but 7 under par, 6 back.
So this is one of the feature matches now. It's certainly turning out that way. A couple of Koreans, Un Chun and Hee Kyung-bae, having very good weeks, but it's Nasa Hatayoko, the 19-year-old from Japan, who leads all comers at the moment. She's gone out in 4 under par, and here she is standing with driver in hand at the 11th. She is the leader by 2. In fact, make that 3, because she just picked up a birdie at 10, we've been told. Oh boy, this is some display. She's looking anxiously at this. Left. And a long way left. Suzuki was down there the other day. This might be what the rest of the field needs.
Well, that's going to be interesting to see what kind of backswing she has, how close she is to that tree, and really just the line of sight she's got with the second. It's not going to be long, but uphill and other trees in the way.
Kate, I'm going to leave you to it for a little while because Alison Whittaker spent half the morning in the first hour of our coverage talking about food, so it's lunchtime.
Yes, we managed to drag her back to the commentary box, and that's good to have Ali here as we watch play begin on the back nine. It's what we're all here for, Ali.
It's been an interesting day so far. I'm not sure anyone would have written the storylines we've already seen, especially with Nasa rising to the top. The tribulations, really, and trials of Minji Lee today. So take a look at Momoko Ueda. Oh, it had its chances.
Okay.
The long par 3/16th, Megan Kang. Opting with a utility. Oh, and that would have looked terrific from where she was standing.
Her scorecard looks pretty terrific from where I'm sitting, I can tell you that much. 5 under par today.
It's going to earn some good money. $1.5 million prize fund this week. Oh, it's a lucrative swing, hey?
It is, especially if you're in the top half of it. It is very top heavy. The prize fund breakdowns for these events, a real incentive to finish strong. And it makes the awards end of the year a little bit more interesting as well.
It looks like it's going to be a whitewash with Area Jatanagan sweeping everything, but we have got a new Relics Rookie of the Year, of course, Jin Young Ko, and we thought that Minji might even try to usurp Area in a couple of those statistics, but not to be. The Kiwi has, the Australian has faltered on the front nine. Now, meanwhile, Saki Nagamine is from long range, but this to get within 3.
Ranked 141st in the world. Here's the 23-year-old Nagamine. And really a bit of a lag putt there.
Conditions are so different compared to the previous 2 days. Well, just heavy underfoot. We had a fair bit of rain and drizzle tumble down this morning. So while the rain did fall, the birdies somewhat dried up. This course has been there for the taking in the past. I mean, we were scratching our heads when we arrived this week to know that Annika Sorenstam, when she won here back in 2003, was 24 under par.
It's an unbelievable number.
It's 54 holes.
I can't do that in about 85 holes, I don't think, if I was lucky. Make that 200. She's been effective on the par 5s this week. Segunda, 5 under par, made most of her score there. Spoke to Carlotta last night. She said their plan was to go out and just make as many birdies as possible today, which is easier said than done sometimes, but 3 under so far for her round.
Good birdie chance at the 16th for Kang. Not too many birdies on the 16th. Not an easy hole. It's par 3, but it's long. 174 yards. Birdies at the 16th for the week combined. The front hole location today maybe a little bit more accessible, at least in length. It has played up to 190 yards, just 174 today. A little bit of length left still to come on that one for Megan. Par putt for Segunda. She's 3 behind. See, she's 6th in birdies. Her stats rolling along the bottom of the green, so of the screen. So she's a solid all-round player. Solheim Cup player. Says she wouldn't understand a life without sport.
No, and she plays a lot of sports. She plays paddle tennis as well. She's quite a good soccer player.
Okay, hang on a second. Paddle tennis.
Paddle tennis. Small racket, no strings, about half the size of a normal court, and I think you have to keep the ball up the whole time. I'm not 100% sure. I've never played against her, but I've seen her and she's pretty handy at it.
Ueda. Good greens in the second round, 16 out of 18 and 28 putts. Wow, that is impressive. Getting better every day, 67 in round 2. Well, that putt got her attention. She laboured over that small par, but it keeps her at 9 under. 5 back on the back 9. Jump ahead to the 12th hole and IK Kim.
That one will impress Mum, who's in the crowd this week for IK. She actually played her practice round with Amy Yang. They're playing alongside each other today, and it was so cold she didn't have a jacket. She borrowed Amy's, and as you can imagine, the size wasn't quite right. She was flapping about on Wednesday.
Those sats from Saki Nagamine. She's 17th on the money list. $400,000 in season earnings. Oh, what a great putt from Lee. Great putt to match the trousers. Wow, and look at those last few holes. 3 under in her last 5, finds her in contention. But they're all trying to keep Nasa Hataoka within their sights. Currently, she has the lead by 3. Storming around the golf course, 5 under through 10 as we embark on the back 9 is what we're all here to play for. And Hataoka is in charge. This is the final round of the TOTO Japan Classic. The leaders are on the back 9. Nasa Hataoka has the lead, but she is in trouble off the tee at 11. Let's go to Un Chun. Playing alongside her, just to put some pressure on.
Pretty safe and commercial. Young Bay from over on that right rough. Just rolls on through, but not too bad from where she was, really.
Third shot for Nasa Hataoka, so just chipped out. So she's going to need that for a par to maintain the lead of 3. She's been brilliant in this round so far. 5 under, no drop shots. Oh, different caddy on the bag this week. Has had Dana Daru. I was going to say, unless Dana's learned Japanese very quickly and chopped off his ponytail, so a local caddy on the bag this week for her. Why don't we bring you up to speed with what's been happening on the golf course, because there has been plenty. Going to start on the 6th hole, and the final round queen, that's what she's known as, Jie Shin. A lot of us were hoping for sparks to fly from the South Korean. Well, they did. Oh, on the 6th hole, it was an easy birdie. That moved her to 9 under.
Ji Hee Lee at the the 9th to try and get to 9 under par. She was a long way from the hole, but it didn't really matter. Just judged it absolutely perfectly. She was lighting up that front side, made the turn, 34.
Amy Yang, one of the sweetest swingers in the game, and is very useful with the flat stick as well. Good birdie at the 9th.
But it's been steady as she goes for Nasa Hataoka. She's been impressive already early on. That for her 4th birdie of the day at the 9th.
A former British Open champion, a major champion in IK Kim. This to move to 8 under on the 11th, the right to left curling putt that was never in doubt.
One of her fellow South Korean player, Jin Young Ko, started the day with a bogey, but it didn't seem to faze her. Since then, she's made 6 birdies, that one of them there at the 13th. What a run she is having today.
Bay for birdie from the back of 11.
Go, go.
No real damage done, given she was in the right rough off the tee.
We'll tap in for a par 4 for Bay.
Coming off the 3rd place finish on the JLPJ last week, so in form.
Just 3 more events remaining after the TOTO Japan Classic on the Japan Tour. And it'll get, frankly, just a bit too cold to play after then. Ski season will resume. Wow! Look at those stats. Look at those putts. 20 putts for Un Chun. Oh, I was going to say that was the reason why. Good try.
Putts. Nearly unheard of.
Did she mark them all down? Some kind of
She might have chipped in a couple of times.
I think she might have had to get to just the 20 putts. Now this sizable putt is now for a par for Nasa Hataoka to maintain that 3-shot advantage over Segunda.
Okay, we should mention that you were in fact right. She has changed caddy to Shinsuke Morimoto this week. So not Dana Daru of times gone by.
So it will be a drop shot, which gives hope to the chasing pack. A 5 for the world number 16. Just opens the door to her nearest challenger. Who is this player? Carlotta Segunda at the 12th.
Loves to shape the golf ball, Segunda, and that's why this back nine in particular suits her eye so much. I talked with her yesterday after the round, and she said it really brings out her creativity with her iron play.
Good looking swing from Saki Nagamine. And a great shot. Shot of the day. That's going to be hard to beat. An exquisite tee shot from the Japanese player.
I can safely say I think that that might be one of the best we'll see at the 12th. for a bailout, really. And lackluster by contrast to the other two.
Well, this is our final group out on the golf course. Minji Lee, we believe, is going to be a major factor today. She is limping around this golf course, 6 over par, playing with Sakura Koiwai, who is looking to win her first event on the Lpga Tour. And Jie Shin, 53 wins, the final round queen. Will she be a star today, playing her second into 11? It's not going her way, though. 2 over par. Poor Shin.
Not a club left in hand here for IK Kim. She's going to have to manufacture a bit of a fade shot around that tree. She's done so nicely. If that will stay there, it will. Having to get creative to see whether they're putting or chipping next.
Minji, second to 11. Amazing, just within 24 hours, how you can find the game really very easy. My notes last night just saying she strolled around the golf course, didn't drop a shot, 8 birdies. She was making it look as easy as Saki Nagamine then, with that very easy peasy birdie at the 12th.
Well, this isn't easy for Sakura Koiwai.
Nine under par, 1 over today for Koiwai. Second coming into the final round, but a big day. Just 20 years old.
Very young, has had a runner-up finish on this golf course this year, actually. Came runner-up to Kristen Gilman, an American amateur, in July.
Interesting. She went left-hand low, then she went to a conventional grip for Momoko Ueda.
I wonder what she ends up with.
Gone with a conventional grip. And why not? It works. 3 off the lead. It is congested at the top. The margin is 2. But wow, there are a host of very good players, very experienced Japanese players. They're playing at home. They have the advantage.
Just laying up at the par 5 is Megan Kang. She too having a great round, and it could get better there at the 17th. That a chance to go to 6 under par for her day today, to try and get within 4 of our leader. How's your Japanese?
It's not that strong.
I think this was get it close.
Pins all the way back. That's not a bad try from Koiwai. Caddy on the bag is Nikki Campbell's former old caddy.
Nikki Campbell, an Australian that enjoyed a lot of success on the JLPGA, and that is Minoru Kadota holding the bag.
Well, this will be an excellent birdie and needed for Segunda. Oh, she's got a game face on. Wow. Moves to 12 under, just 1 behind. Gosh, she's been playing well in this Asian swing.
4th last week, 9th the week before, but was in contention that week.
Should have learnt a lot.
She did, and she was really fired up about how things went down. I'm sure Minji Lee's pretty hot under the collar right now as well, but for a different reason.
Golf course will be a very lonely place at times when you're not playing well.
Un Chun.
Solid shot from Chun. Minji Lee tapped in for her par, but out of contention, which is a phrase we were not expecting to say about the world number 5. Let's have this good round continue for Megan Kang. Let's for yet another birdie at the 17th. One goes begging for Kang. You can't win every tournament.
She can afford to sit down after the year that she's had.
3 wins, world number 1, $2.4 million in the bank, another major championship, leading the race to the CME Globe. I mean, she could sit for a long time. We'd still have plenty to say about her. Shin, birdie. Oh, Shin.
She's too gentle. GA. Second on the money list on the Lpga this season.
We were talking yesterday, Ali, Pete and I, about her quite unique putting address. And look how close she is to that ball.
Well, the reason for that is she's got quite an upright stance. So the more bent over you are, the further the ball has to be away from you to be under your eye line.
Must imagine what must be hard with that. It might be easy to take it back on the outside when you are so close to the ball. The leader by 1, Hataoka. Showing a couple of signs of vulnerability. Drop shot on the 11th, missing the green on 12. Maybe giving hope to her nearest pursuers. And not a putt that Koiwai will remember with any great affection. Cannot afford to let those go. So Koiwai finds herself, well, now 5 off the pace on 8 under par. You'd have to think that the tournament is falling in the direction of Nasa Hataoka, but pulled her tee shot left on 12 to give some hope maybe to the chasing pack that includes Segunda, who's having a wonderful day, 4 under through 12. She is just 1 behind. It's what the players compete for and practice every day, to be in contention on the back 9. Nasa Hataoka has set the mark. She leads by 1 on 13 under par, just 19 years old, with dearly love to win on home soil at an Lpga co-sanctioned event. But she's going to have to fight off a host of players breathing down her neck. The 2-time winner on tour, the Solheim Cup star Carlotta Segunda, who is really finding form on this Asian swing. She is just 1 behind for the big hitting Spaniard. Saki Nagamine, a leading player on the Japan tour. She is rising to the occasion and thriving with the home crowd cheering her on every step of the way. And then Jin Young Ko, Rolex Player of the Year. The rookie, a winner earlier this year at the Australian Open, 2 wins on the LPGA Tour. One of the best swings and is competing on this final Sunday along with a 2-time champion at the TOTO Japan Classic, Momoko Ueda. 3 behind, 2 under par for the day. And the Japanese player has a steely determination that she would dearly love to pose a serious threat to our leader, who is Nasa Hataoka on 12. The door is open as we welcome Peter Donegan back into the commentary box. That's a long par, well, a sizable par putt for Nasa.
She's just showing a few signs of nerves being at the top of the leaderboard, I think, at the moment, Kate. And Jin Young Ko rolls in her par putt at 15. Anytime you walk off 15 with a 4, that's a good result. But perhaps she's starting to realise the enormity of the occasion, Nasa, and there's just a little wobble which has brought a few back into it. Good week for Hee Kyung Bae. 2 very solid opening rounds, both in the 60s. Not many players in the field able to boast that. So she remains at -8. She'll need a minor miracle because she's 5 back, but she's in line for a very good check.
Oh, this is a tough shot on 13 for Ueda. Needs to chase it up there, but must keep it below the hole. Severely sloping back to front green.
That's a pretty good result from where she was. Jaeon Chung, another of the players having a good week, which belies her ranking, her world ranking. Gets that one in. She's ranked 154. Hee Kyung Bae ranked 104. They look better players than that. I think that just goes to show the depth of the women's game at the moment.
Oh, so much so, yes. This needs to move right.
That is not where you want to be on that hole. So a very important putt here for our leader. Oh boy. The nerves are just starting to come to the fore a little bit. The endings are being exposed by the pressure of the situation. And that is back-to-back bogeys for Nasa Hataoka. And now Carlotta Segunda has a share of the lead. Could we possibly get another twist in this day?
Well, here is Carlotta. You won't know that she has a share of the lead. Just turning it over, she was in this position against Danielle Kang at the Buick LPGA Shanghai, had a share of the lead on 14. They made a very costly double, so she will have learned from that.
What a day for Minji Lee. We know she's not feeling that well. Only she knows how much it's affecting her, but this is, well, it's just unthinkable that something like this could happen to her.
Certainly changed the shades today. It was a sun-drenched golf course for the first 2 days. Fresh. Today is fresh, but cloudy, overcast, and has been drizzle all morning. Interesting swing Jie Shin has. Takes it back on the outside on the takeaway, then drops it back beautifully on the inside on the way down. It's only 5'2".
30 putts yesterday, same as the first day, but look at the difference in the greens in regulation. She hit 3 less greens, had the same amount of putts yesterday. Task is going to be too much for GA.
2 over par today.
Yeah, but it's just fascinating at the top now. There are, realistically, we've got 6 chances of winning the golf tournament all of a sudden. Sakura Koiwai not necessarily amongst them, having gone around in 2 over so far today.
Little utility for Jin Young Ko, who's having an excellent day on the golf course. 5 under par. 2 back.
So can she settle the nerves down a little bit here? This is not the sort of hole that you'd necessarily think of as a nerve settler, and especially when she's got a second shot coming from the light rough. She's got the trees and the bunker to negotiate, and then she's got arguably the most difficult green on the golf course. So all things considered, the equation is not very simple all of a sudden for Nasa Hataoka. Carlotta Segunda looking the goods. She's on the upward surge. We have joint leaders in the final round of the TOTO Japan Classic. It's turned into a very dramatic Sunday in all sorts of ways at the TOTO Japan Classic at the Seta Golf Course, not too far away from the beautiful city of Kyoto in Japan. What a pleasure it is to have you with us for our final round coverage as the Asian swing continues late in the season. It hasn't been kind to Minji Lee today. Just a few little signs that Nasa Hataoka is feeling the pressure of being up at the top of the leaderboard. Carlotta Segunda is joining in the conversation, and if you would like to do your own joining of the conversation, you can do so on social media by using the hashtag TOTO Japan Classic. Nasa stalking her shot, waiting for the green to clear, and it's not an easy shot that she's got in front of her.
And waiting can be very hard because a lot runs through your mind when you're having to deliberate over your second shot. You're not in control because you're waiting for this putt from a player that could join up at the top of the lead. Nagamine.
No harm done, but an opportunity goes begging. At 12, the 20-year-old Sakura Koiwai. 4 back from the lead. Under normal circumstances, you would think that that's probably going to be too much, but you have to keep in the back of your mind that it's par 5 to finish.
And as we saw at the beginning of the round, we had a 5-shot swing in the blink of an eye between Minji and Nasa Hataoka. The weight is only 2 off the pace. Won this championship twice.
Japanese fans might be a little bit torn as to who they're supporting because they love Momoko so much, and they have for a long time. And Minji just trying to steady this listing ship. But everybody has days like that. Now the green's clear, and now we come up with another one of the more important shots that we've seen all day.
Has to get this on the green. Has made bogey, bogey. Once enjoyed a 3-shot lead. It's now all square. If you're looking at this as a match play showdown between her and Segunda. Oh, she's turned that over.
That's bogey territory again. That would be 3 in a row if she makes bogey here. The wheels are getting a bit wobbly. GA at 12 for birdie.
Minji has tapped in her par, and that will be a par putt for GA. Just not falling for her today. Very makeable opportunity at the 14th for IK Kim. This to get to 10 under and 2 off. Oh, Pete, where is the challenge going to come from? There are plenty of players right in contention. Amy Yang, who's 8th, is 9 under par and only 3 behind.
And with every shot that Nasa looks likely to drop, it brings another player or two into contention. Carlotta looking likely to have the lead by herself. Sakura taps in for her par. In all likelihood, she's probably a little bit too far back. But let's keep in mind those par 5s to finish, and they will suit this player, no question about that. Carlotta looks to be the one in the driver's seat right now.
Oh, that's a brilliant drive, taking it down the left side of as well. Won't have much club in hand for her second.
And this is a hole, Kate, where they'd be looking to make a score. They get a bit of a break here at 14. This is a birdie hole in the eyes of a lot of people. It's been in the easiest holes both of the first 2 days so far. Megan Kang to move to within 3.
What a good final round for the American. Finishes on 8 under par.
"32 years of age now, Momoko. Seems to have been around a whole lot more than that. She's been such a fixture in Japanese golf for so long. And as Kate said, a couple of victories in this tournament.
13 wins on the Japan Tour as well, 2 on the LPGA Tour. So proven winner, Ko. And there's another winner who could well be a threat. Well, the question is, where is this challenge going to come from? Nasa Hataoka is in trouble on the 13th, looking to get up and down. Segunda has striked a drive off the 14th and could well have the lead all by herself, but there are plenty pursuers on the final day of this TOTO Japan Classic.
Just some of the beautiful sights that the players have had the opportunity of taking in their week here. It is an enormously beautiful country in all sorts of ways. The food is to die for, but the history and the culture of this place is something that impacts anyone that is here. Mount Fuji standing well and truly above the Japanese landscape as He Kyung-bae takes a look at a birdie at the 13th. We know this will break severely at the hole, and that was always going to be underneath, but no damage done. Nasa Hataoka's marker is the marker near the hole there. It's not stone dead for par, but she's done a good job with her little chip, giving herself a chance of making par and remaining in a share of the lead with Carlotta Segunda. If you are just joining us, Minji Lee, who led by 3 shots overnight, is 7 over par for the day and tied 17th.
She's not the fastest player on tour, Segunda. She does back off a couple of shots. Must be a fair amount going through her mind. But this should be a very straightforward shot for the number 21.
She can't get her head around this shot. Now Terry's going to have to get in there and convince her that she's got the right club in her hand. Result was fine. He's going to be such an important figure in the last 5 holes.
It's going to be massive because that was a very straightforward shot for Segunda. Hardly any club in hand, and she couldn't convince herself exactly what to do. And he's got to make her say to her, keep it simple.
No harm done for Jay Un Chun. So she'll make her pass, something that Nasa Hataoka would dearly love to do. And she should. But this is the sort of length that will get you thinking, especially in light of what's happened in the last 2 holes and especially in light of her position on the leaderboard. And there's a really good illustration of that slope.
And it's not a straightforward tap-in.
That's a big 4.
And that was a very classy up and down. Under pressure, stop the rot. Very easily, she could have seen 3 shots slip away in a moment of carelessness. Instead, she still currently has a share of the lead. As we watch Saki Nagamine playing with Segunda, also hitting it close on 14. But Segunda has that putt to move to 13 under and to take sole possession of the lead.
Now, the 2 closing par 5s, Jin Young Ko at the first of them. This is by far the shorter of the 2. The longer hitters can get it all the way there. 465 yards at 17. And the 18th is another 70 on top of that.
Ueda clearly didn't like it and tugged it left. Just turning that one over. 2 times she's won the Mizuno Classic on the LPGA Tour for her 2 wins.
She shot 66 when she won in 2007 in the final round, 69 when she won in 2011. IK giving it plenty of body English to try and get it onto the green and close to the flag, and it seemed to work. Hardest hole on the golf course on Friday, 2nd hardest hole on the golf course yesterday was the 15th.
Well, players are coming in with a lot of club, and it's a tough stretch of holes coming down when you think you've got that 15th, 16th is a long par 3. 17 and 18 are par 5s, but it's quite a difficult hole location on 18 from our hosting position where we opened the broadcast this morning. Proving to be a bit tricky to get close. Well, now, it was a solid par for Hataoka, and here she is on 14.
Uh-oh. Nothing from the gallery.
Everything's been going left. It's not actually that bad because the lip on that bunker isn't really a problem. She's not that far away from the green, but it's not the shot she was after.
And I think that's the thing at the moment. The person in her head is going to be talking to her quite loudly with what's been going on. Here's Minji Lee, another one of these golfing billionaires in this part of the world. And if you can play shots like that at 15, it's no wonder you're a billionaire. 1.147 billion yen.
You certainly need your currency calculator when you arrive in Japan, don't you? Otherwise, you could really get a little bit carried away with how much holiday money you think you have. Flag stick out for Nagamine, and this is a makeable birdie putt for the Japanese player. That was to climb to within one.
And I've just done a quick calculation, Kate. Okay. That 1.147 billion yen is equivalent to about 10.1 million US dollars.
Yes. It's a good life. Terry Mcnamara not helping Segunda line up this putt, leaving it down to her.
Probably thought he'd done his job with the second shot, convincing her that she had the right yardage, the right club.
This for the outright lead.
The minute you hear fingers clicking, you know that it's got a bit of speed up.
It has been. It didn't roll that far past, but you could tell she was nervous.
Yeah.
She clicked her fingers as soon as she struck that putt.
I think she'll be pretty pleased to get this hole behind her, because she didn't look comfortable at any stage on this hole. Nasa, in contrast, looking comfortable enough walking down there, but she's got that trap to negotiate with her second shot.
Remains at 12 under.
Third shot at 17 for Jin Young. Just a little pitch. Well, she'll give herself about a B for that. Maybe a B minus.
Tidying up, and Saki Nagamine. Two behind. Interesting player, Nasa Hatayuka. She earned her playing rights after qualifying through Q School back in 2016. Didn't have a good year, so went back to Q School in 2017, where she won it, to earn her playing rights again in 2018, and has been brilliant. Nearly won a major. So has learned an awful lot about her game and about herself. This is Un Chun, who, as Pete said a moment ago, is ranked 154th in the world, but not for much longer after this event if she continues in this good form.
Good thing for her is, too, most of her score has come on the back nine. She's finished pretty well. She's been -6 on the back nine the first 2 days. And there's part of the reason why.
Well, it won't be a three-peat for Shan, a two-time winner of this event, the last 2 editions, in fact. She'd like to finish off in style on 18. This is her third to the par 5.
And she gets a bit of practice at being defending champion, because she's going to have to do it again next week. Can't quite work out how that got there, but a birdie putt coming nonetheless, and this is also one for IK. She can win the golf tournament if this goes in. And it was so close to giving her a chance of thinking that she might be able to snatch it. Very good back nine so far. She's picked up 3 shots on the back nine. She'll need everything to go right, but the signs are good.
Being 5'1", you need a caddy who can show you the line. See that? Right, thanks very much. Off you go.
Yeah, get out of the way.
Yeah, I've got a shot to hit.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, you little superstar.
Oh, how good is that? I think we might talk about that shot if she's holding up the trophy in a couple of hours' time, or an hour and a half or so. That was brilliant.
Clipped it just beautifully. Caddy gave her the line, committed to the shot, accelerated through the ball, and voila!
That
Her
putt
stomach is doing somersaults, so that's going to help.
for the lead, that will be the putt for Nasser, and here's her joint leader on the tee at 15. Blind landing area for the tee shot for Carlotta. She's got a bit of a lean up. Where's that going? That's up on the hill. And that is not going to be easy because it's sat down. She'll have the ball well above her feet. Tough approach coming to one of the toughest holes on the golf course.
This is a birdie for Jin Young Ko, who she guesses would be the clubhouse leader on 11 under par. You never know what could happen down the stretch, Pete, but that would put pressure on those remaining on the golf course, but not to be. So 10 under for the Rolex Rookie of the Year. She's going to come up a couple of shots shy, but a very good and solid performance here in Japan.
Yeah, I think with 10 under par, normally you'd be thinking, oh, well, maybe something could happen to the leaders. When you've got 2 par 5s to finish, you probably know almost certainly it's not going to be enough. There's our mini leaderboard with the battle going on, and Momoko just one off them. IK Kim, Ji-hee Lee continue to hang in there, along with Saki Nagamine. Hee-kyung is too far back to consider winning, you would think, unless this goes in. And she thought it might have been. Just one note that I've looked at on my notes, Kate. Normally break down the last 5 holes, last 3 holes. Carlotta, of all of the people up there in contention, has not played the last 3 holes very well.
Which is surprising given her length.
She's even par for the last 3 holes. She's -1 for the last 5 holes. So she hasn't handled it too well over the first couple of days. That may mean something, or it may mean absolutely nothing by the time we arrive at Sunday, but that's the background.
I think the most important 12 inches for Carlotta Segunda are the 12 inches between her ears, and how quickly she can put all the trouble out of her head and focus on the task.
She's got 12 inches between her ears. She must have a big hat. Good speed, not quite the line that she was after. All right, let's see what the defending champion can do at the final hole.
Oh, sums up Shan-Shan's week. Admitted when she came into this tournament she wasn't playing that great. Has a chance to win next week because she's not playing the CME Group Tour Championship. Next week will be her last week for 2018. Limping home with a 38, 4 under for the tournament. But if there isn't a win next week, it'll be the first time in 3 years that Shan-Shan hasn't recorded a win on the LPGA Tour.
Hee Kyung Bae just to tidy up. The difficulty of 15, the length of 16, and then the 2 par 5 still to come.
Okay.
Nicely holed. She's in line for a really good check. Even par for the day, 8 under for the week. Here's a young lady just one back.
Back right hole location. Hoping this is going to draw back in. Oh, that was very classy from Ueda. Wonderful shot.
She is right in this. Momoko, like Carlotta, hasn't handled the last few holes well, but she's got a very good chance there. And now, to get the lead back again. How about that for a birdie? That does one thing, apart from give her the lead back, that settles the nerves a bit.
It's going to feel like 2 shots that she's picked up rather than the birdie. Doubt. You don't want it to, but it can just creep into your mind. Oh, I've dropped a couple of shots, nervous, I've got players level pegging it with me, but what a good birdie that was for Hataoka.
IK was looking away, but it looked as though it was right on line all the way.
Nagamine going to try and get this up in the air to land it soft, not come in with too much heat. And that's what she's done, and could have done with just a fraction more club.
It's sat down. It's not going to be easy to control. Hole location in the back right corner as well. So this one will move from her right to left with the shape of the shot under normal circumstances. And all things considered, getting it on the green was probably about the best result she might have been able to hope for. But that's 3-putt territory right there. So the next twist in the plot, are we seeing it with Carlotta at the 15th? NASA, that was some birdie at the 14th hole. The 19-year-old standing strong under the pressure of the final day. Japan has one of their own at the top of the leaderboard. The race to the CME Globe will be concluded in just a couple of weeks' time. Now, there are a couple of significant things that are happening right at the moment. This is the standings going into this tournament with Area the tearaway leader. But Jin Young Ko at the moment is projected to be in 5th place. Nasa Hataoka, who doesn't appear there because she started at 10th at the start of this week, is projected to be in 4th place. Now, what that means is the top 5 can win the race to the CME Globe by winning the tournament, and they don't have to rely on other results. So this is a significant day for both Jin Young and NASA in the race to the CME Globe. Carlotta, how good from long range.
She's a very measured player, Carlotta Segunda. Just having a look at her previous wins that she's had when she won in Korea. And Pete, you were there for that tournament. She was 5 off the pace going into the final round. It was a round of 70. She won in a playoff against Alison Lee, but that was impressive to come from there. And then the Lorena Ochoa Invitational she won when she had the lead.
And that was almost straight after as well, so she got that winning taste very quickly. Took her a long time to get the first win, practically no time to get the second win.
Within a month of each other.
These are going to have to start falling. IK, in reality now, is probably going to have to birdie at least 3 times coming in. She's only got 3 opportunities to do it. So when you've got 3 holes and you say at least 3 birdies, the answer to that is maybe an eagle at 17 would be what the doctor ordered.
Last 3 tee shots have gone left for Nasser. That has also gone left, but it does open up the green, and it's a better side to miss than hanging on that slope.
Saki Nagamane running out of holes as well. The significance of that birdie that Nasser made at the previous hole can't be overstated, because it just put these players into a position where it's probably going to be too hard for them now. If the mark had been 12, they could still do it with the par 5s, but now it's tough.
And you've got to be very reluctant to give away a lead. You spent a long time constructing, which Nasser Hataoka had done. She's back in control as we watch Jin Young Ko on 18 get down into giddy up. Be ideal to get out of that rough. So that hole, there's a good view of it. Just tucked on the right hand side of the green. Anything a little bit too bold will roll off the back. It slopes away.
If Momoko is going to win, this needs to go in. It's not out of the question just yet, but that would have been very helpful.
Stand, please.
Ji Hee Lee going with the putter from off the green. And to good effect as well. We'll keep her at 10 under. Crack away, boys. Well, that says it all. No, nice shirt. I like that one. They're fascinating, some of the fashion we're seeing this week in Japan.
It's one thing that's different with the women's game compared to the men's game, and I mean that in a positive light too. It's so colourful.
I think you'd have Bring It On girls if it was the men's tour.
Outstanding first putt from Carlotta from what must have been pretty close to 90 feet. That is a huge 2-putt. One back. She knows the importance of that one. Look at that. There's a bit of spring in her step as she goes to the next tee.
Amy Yang, this is for birdie at the 16th. These players are thinking it's going to break more than it has, more than it will, and it's with these slightly damp conditions. Greens are holding. You're seeing a lot of players run because it's a huge golf course. It's the walk between green to tee. Thankfully, most golf played by the amateurs and the members of the club is on a golf cart. Indeed, you'd be exhausted.
It's the journey from the first tee to the second, green to the second tee is so long you have to recharge your golf cart halfway through. Here's Un Chun, her second at 15. at the good line. Very hard to get it all the way back there at 15. The other thing that makes it difficult to get around the golf course, Kate, is when your golf cart gets a flat tyre.
Yes.
As we did the other day.
During the practice round. I don't know if the golf cart's recovered. Nasa Hataoka has bounced back and recovered from those 2 drop shots. An excellent birdie at the 14th. Here she is at 15. Got to fly it over that tree to the back right hole location.
Bit of wind assistance for the players there at 15. Now, an error here from Jin Young with her second shot, putting it into the rough. So can she get any check on this out of the rough? Well, she was playing for the fact that she wasn't going to get any check, and she's played it brilliantly. That is an excellent shot from the Rookie of the Year. Chance of a closing birdie, and that can take her to 11 under. And if she can hold that putt, that's a 66 for Jin Young Ko. That's coming home with a rush.
She's practiced plenty with that club. And for good reason, there's evidence of it. Nice shot from Salas.
Momoko, 174 in front of her.
Likes to hit a draw. And a controlled one as well. Very nicely played.
Well, if she can finish birdie, 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 and there's a chance of that, and get it to 14 under, she is very much in contention.
Oh, this looks good. That was a sweet swing from Segunda. Her length should be a huge advantage playing these last 3 holes with 2 par 5s to come. Faces a very makeable birdie putt on 16, and that would draw her level with Nasa Hataoka, the leader, on 13 under par. It's all to play for down this final stretch at the Setter Golf Club.
We're coming down the stretch on Sunday at the TOTO Japan Classic, and what a thrilling battle it's turning out to be. The local hero, even at just 19 years of age, Nasa Hataoka in front. And speaking of locals, Saki Nagamine with her tee shot at the 16th, a couple in tight, and she's in tighter. That putt to get it to 11 under.
Haven't seen a great deal of Charlie Hull. Has got the face open. Going to slide right underneath this and let it chase down towards the hole. And it's stop in the hole.
And Ali Whittaker has joined us in the box to see our leader putting at 15.
And this would be some birdie. How good that shot on 14. It just felt like a real turning point for Nasa.
Yeah.
Hot off the back of those 2 drop shots.
And there might be a few that will get closer from second shots today, but I don't know that we've seen a more important shot than the one that she played at the previous hole.
Oh, what a good birdie this would be for Nagamine. Excellent tee shot. 2 shots behind. A couple of 2s as well on this back 9. That's good going. Not easy, these par 3s.
She's got the business face on. She knows she's right in the hunt here. If she can just play the last couple of holes a couple under par, she'll give the others something to think about. This, though, is a very big moment in the Spaniards' day. To join Nasa Hataoka at 13 under.
She is going to have to rely on her length on these two par fives. One of the few players that can get home on 17. 18's out of the question.
Just a hair of break in this for Jin Young Ko to get to 11 under par.
Bet it didn't feel like it was going to be a 66 when she made bogey on a par 5 to begin the day. That's a great round. To remain the leader by 1. Good positive stroke as well from 2.5 feet. She's regained her composure. Just looked a little wobbly there for a couple of holes, but you've got to admire, Ali, the way that she's been able to gather herself again.
She's shown quite a maturity beyond her years in the last 3 or so holes.
It's got to go in now. Well, she did register that albatross or double eagle when she won here in 2007. If she does that today, it'll be one of the greatest shots in the history of golf at the final hole.
She knows time's running out.
Minji Lee up ahead at the 17th. Oh, and this could chase on. Eagle chance coming up. One putt, she could find herself on 12 under par quite quickly.
Well, that looked good. Oh, she's saying once. Oh, that looked brilliant. Got better and better. Wow, Amy Yang. How about that for an eagle on 17?
When you're world number 24, you can afford to be picky.
Well, she gets that. She jumps to 11 under. Could make another birdie on 18.
And that's where we find Soyeon going straight at it. Not a week that she would care to remember. She'll look back on Friday and think, I haven't played much better than that this year, but Saturday and Sunday have been a tough slog for the world number 3, but she's got the opportunity and almost cast iron chance to finish in style. Bulk of the galleries with this young lady, understandably so.
Again with a long iron, when you think majority of the field, and certainly players of her height, have all had utility clubs, fairway woods out. Shows how powerful she is. She's got a lot of power in her swing, Ali. Gareth Jones, who works with her, and we've caught up with him earlier this year.
Yes, he said that she had an increase in her club head speed, and it's been really improving. Like to see it improve yet again over their off season. That's one of their goals.
That would make life very hard for the rest of the field if she's able to hold that. It's been an impressive performance from this young woman, Un Chun. We mentioned what she was able to do yesterday. She had 20 putts yesterday. Part of the reason for that was she only hit 9 greens, so she was doing a lot of chipping. But anytime you can walk off the golf course at the end of the day with 20 putts, you've probably had a pretty reasonable sort of day.
You've done some wonders out there. Harry Potter on the greens and off them.
Finished tied 54th in this event going back a few years ago at her only appearance here.
Oh, that's good.
It's on the money.
Wow. No, to hit your hybrids like that. That was lovely to watch. What good rhythm. Just a gentle fade. Got it to land softly.
Didn't sound like she got all of that. Starting to think birdie. It's nearly got to be.
She really does. And this is where her huge distance off the tee got to play out. Part one of the equation done.
Incredibly, when you look at Hataoka versus Segunda on those last 3 holes, NASA actually has a 3-shot advantage. Surprising given Carlotta's length and 2 par 5s.
Birdie putt for Teresa Liu at the closing hole. So not a happy day for Teresa. That's a 73. That means that you're going to be giving up a lot of ground to the rest of the field. She finds herself down in a tie for 24th place. Tom Watson on her bag for so long on the bag of So Yeon Yu.
And here's last week's champion, the 20-year-old Nelly Korda. This will be a good way to finish for the American.
She's picked up the 1 shot today. Tough to back up after all the emotion of last week.
I actually think she did pretty well to do so. She'll probably end up just inside the top 20, Nelly. She was exhausted on Monday. Yeah. Understandably so.
Not many eagles to be had on 17, but this is a chance for Ji-hee Lee after 2 big blows. Likely birdie. I'll move her to 11 under, 2 behind Hataoka.
Not many weekend highlights for this young woman, but a good way to finish for So-yeon. Rolls in a birdie at the last. And after all of the trials that she's had, she's only 5 shots off the pace. That just goes to show how hard we mark her. We mark her by her own lofty standards. I thought I was watching Finding Nemo there for a minute with Tom Watson. Wait.
It's the seagulls, is it?
Yes. Tommy will see the funny side of that, I hope.
Oh, Tom, absolutely. You just need Brad Beecher out there. And then the great caddy of Inbee Park. Yeah, not caddying this week. He's with us this week and the TV crew.
Yeah, well on the way to having his own television network, I would have thought. It still wouldn't have been enough to get the victory, but always nice to get an eagle on your card as the Sunday draws to a close. Not so for Amy Yang, but that will take her to -10, and that will now put her up into a tie for 6th. Just recapping, Hatayoko with the birdie putt coming at the 16th to stretch the lead out to 2. Carlotta Segunda playing the first of the 2 closing par 5s. Jin Young Ko, the clubhouse leader at 11 under. IK to remain within 3 of the lead.
She's a real anomaly in so many ways, IK. Easily one of the most interesting people I know, but when you look at her world ranking, by comparison to her stats, her world ranking truly outweighs all of her golfing stats. She's not inside the top 20 in any stat on the LPGA, and then she is inside the top 20 on the world rankings, of course.
You know who else is in a similar boat? The number 2 player in the world, Sung Hyun Park. So we look at Ji-hee Lee just tapping in and tidying up and making a birdie. If you look at her numbers across the line, you'd wonder how she was number 1 or number 2 in the world.
The number of cuts that Sun Hyun Park misses to be the world number 2, former world number 1. Yeah, it's interesting, but a major champion this year.
Should mention, IK Kim ranked at number 13.
Well, Momoko, we talked about what you did in 2007. That yellow heart is 200 to the front. So let's say about 207 to the front, and another 25.
Just skip that bunker on the right-hand side. And in she goes.
Ooh, an awkward lie coming up too.
Jae-Eun Chung, this is for birdie at 16. Holes running out for the South Korean, but that will help. She does climb to 9, 4 back. Playing partner has a very makeable birdie putt, though, to stretch that lead to 14 under. Good looking back 9 scorecard.
So it might just all come down to this. If she can hold this, it makes it so much more difficult, because you'd think that she might be able to pick up 1 more in the next couple of holes. She leads by 1 at the moment. this to strike a massive blow. She'll be disappointed with herself that that one didn't touch the hole from that range. But those par fives still to come. She's still the one. She's still in the driver's seat. She's played the last 3 holes in 3 under par this week. And as we mentioned, Carlotta Segunda having played the last 3 holes in even par. Time to have a look at the update to bring you up to date with what has been going on. Saki Nagamine, standing on the tee at 12, has had a very good day, a very good week. And when you can play tee shots like this, understandably so. Nothing more than a tap in for her birdie at the 12th.
Momoko Ueda plays on both tours, Japan Tour and LPGA, and this putt on the par 3 12 was to climb to double digits under par, and it was an absolute beauty as well.
And what of Megan Kang at the 17th? Playing it the old-fashioned way, 3 shots in. And that was pretty handy as well. Would go on to make birdie.
It was starting to look like it was Nasa Hataoka's until Carlotta Segunda stepped up at 12 and made a 2 at the par 3, and it was game on again at that stage.
This is one of the best shots from Nasa Hataoka. Had just come off back-to-back bogeys to fall out of the lead. Drove it left once again off the tee into the fairway bunker, but how about this as a response? Nearly went in. It was a birdie to put the young Japanese player right back on track and once again in the lead.
That's your shot of the day right there.
With what was at stake.
Yeah. So, can Carlotta top that? This would be a good time to come up with a shot of the day of your own. Can she get it all the way home?
And that shot coming up next is going to be a little delicate, up over a bit of a rise.
That was just a couple of moments ago.
Nagamine. Still a couple of chances for her to make a move. Just like that.
Well, if she holds that, she gets it to 12. And if she can make a birdie at the last, she gets it to 13. That's where Nasa is now. You'd think she might have a birdie in her over the last 2 holes. Will she? Stay with us to find out. Nasa Hataoka edging closer to getting her name on this famous trophy. It has a history that dates back all the way to the mid-1970s. It was an unofficial event for 3 years, and then this is the 43rd time that it has been an LPGA event. Now under its guise is the TOTO Japan Classic, and that young woman is edging closer to victory. Nasa Hataoka, already a winner in season 2018, and she can do it in front of her home galleries. Still a bit to be written yet before they start handing over the checks and the trophies and the Mercedes A-Class and the beautiful pearl necklace to the winner. One thing's for sure though, if Carlotta is going to be any chance of winning, this had better go in. Third shot, or fourth shot I should say, at 17. Her third shot was so difficult and she did a good job to get it to this range.
But with so much at stake, you're one behind, you've got the distance, it's a par 5. You can't afford to walk away with a par if you want to put both hands on the trophy. And barring a disaster from Hataoka, who's down the left-hand side of the fairway, she's not short. Hataoka. She could get home in 2.
She should at least be able to clear that front edge from where she is. All the way back here.
Well, it's been a thrilling final round charge from Momoko. Someone who won this event 11 years ago for the first time with that incredible albatross or double eagle in the final round. And 4 years later, she came back and did it again. She and Ai Miyazato for such a long time were the faces of female golf in Japan. Ai has gone on to greener pastures, and we wish her well in her retirement. And Momoko's still out there flying the Japanese flag.
Yeah, and Tak, who managed Ai Miyazato, looks after Nasa Hataoka, so they're very much in touch with each other.
This putt to keep the flame flickering, but only just.
She had too much coffee all of a second ago, and but it's not. It's a very slippery putt. Come on, Charlie Hull. This to finish on 8 under par. These last couple of putts just show how difficult these greens are. Very easy to become quite scared of them.
Tough to get close, tough to get it in, it seems.
It's been a fair old wait for Nasa. So she knows she's got the firepower to get home if she hits the shot the right way. Hurry up and wait. Well, she's still there.
The three of us here are working out how it can play out over these last 2 holes. She's not out of it.
A lot's going to depend on the second shot of Nasa that we're about to see. Lexi holes one to end her week in Japan. And she does it with a par. Finishes at -6, so that's 7 shots adrift of the lead. And she'll steel herself for the CME title holders in a couple of weeks' time.
I find it absolutely impossible not to really get behind Momoko Ueda. She is a person that just seems to be magnetic on a golf course.
Yeah, she's super popular with the fans. She looks, well, she plays brilliant golf. She looks great. She's quite edgy, and she's got a real attitude about her. And she's going to need to have attitude to hold this putt. Which she does, no problem at all. It's par, but 2 back.
The green is clear then, so we'll go to second shots in a moment. Jennifer Song, who was up there for a while today, finishes with a par. She looked as though she might get herself up into the conversation for the win at one stage. As it turns out, it was a 2 under par round of 70, so that is a top 10 finish for Jennifer, tied 10th. This is a golf swing that doesn't change a lot, and when it's that good, that's a good thing. It doesn't break down under pressure that often, the golf swing of Amy Yang. Just beautiful rhythm. And a pretty good result, but she won't be overly thrilled with that. Might have been expecting about half that distance. So here we go. This is the shot that might take it out of reach of everybody. Well, that's interesting. The fact that she waited for so long and then played that shot. I wonder whether she had a change of mind.
It's not what you want when you're on the 17th in contention to probably really it was a 3 or 4 minute wait there for Nasa and then some perhaps.
She must have changed her mind, surely. Okay, to the last. And the chance of a closing birdie for a round of 70 and to get up to double figures under par. What a competitor this lady has been. We'll get back to her in a moment. And from one who's very experienced to one not so experienced, Un Chun.
Chung heading towards one of her best results in a while. Hasn't had a top 10 in the last 5 events. And it's certainly a good time to find some form.
So the win almost certainly out of the question now for Momoko. Not much reaction instantaneously from the gallery because it's a blind landing area as they come over the brow of the hill at 18.
All right, fans, let's welcome the players coming up to the green.
Well, we said the second shot was the one that might take it out of range. Take 2. It. It was trying to run away.
Crucial drive now for Carlotta Segunda. It doesn't set up for her naturally. It's a dogleg to the left. She likes to hit a cut, but that is motoring down there. Just one behind. She trots off the 18th tee.
Birdie chance coming then for our leader at 17. Certainly not guaranteed by any stretch. The win might just about be guaranteed though, if she can make it. When she first went on to the Lpga Tour, it didn't work out the way she thought it was going to. After going through Q school, she had a tough 2017, so she went back there, qualified again, got her card back, and she seized the opportunity with both hands. She's already a winner in 2018, and it looks like that tally might be doubled in a moment. First things first, though. Un Chun's birdie opportunity at the 17th. I've said it a few times today, she doesn't play like a player who's 154th on the Rolex World Rankings.
Not to be at 18 for IK Kim. So a round of 71 in the end for world number 13. She got off to such a hot start early on day one. Just couldn't quite finish it off this week, but a good week nonetheless.
From the crest of the hill, Momoko Ueda laying up at the 18th. Taking it down the left-hand side, so she's got a good angle to come in on this pin cut over on the right. Another great week.
She'll have no chance of getting this ball on the green in 2, so...
You like it, not her?
I like it. Yep. All good. Right at the pin.
An important layup, you'd have to think, for the Spaniard. Got a lot of club on that.
So it's got to be a birdie, and then she's just got to hope that NASA doesn't make hers at 17 and something happens at 18. That looks unlikely. So what are we thinking? 15 feet, maybe out to 18 feet. She leads by 1 at the moment. She did a tremendous job to get things back on track after it looked a little shaky. When she did ascend to the lead, she did so quickly that she probably didn't have time to think about it, because it was not only what she was doing, but it was what was happening to Minji Lee as well. And then when she did start to think about it, it seemed to affect her for a couple of holes.
I have to say, I do think it's been an advantage for NASA today to not have been in that final group. You look at them, they're plus 10 combined between Kauai and Jie Shin and Minji Lee. And NASA's just been kindly quite sheltered from that today.
This putt then to maintain her 1-shot advantage. 1 hole to play. There's a chance that advantage could be wiped away before she gets to the 18th green by Carlotta Segunda.
Enter at the O and TOTO. You see it? Yep.
Speaking of whom,
Just a swing. Just a swing. Good call.
Pin over on that right-hand side. Couldn't suit her more. Likes to play left to right shot.
she wanted it to go. As it turns out, she wanted it to stop. So she's got a chance of momentarily, at least, getting back into a share of the lead. This young woman's been very impressive. And let's not forget, she's got the same prospect that Carlotta's got. Make birdie here, you've got a share. That's makeable. Most have missed that on the low side. So 2 putts for both of those players to get it to 13 under and to join the leader who is about to play her tee shot at the final hole. Pretty simple equation for Momoko. If she's going to win, she better hold this. Not that far away from doing it. Don't they just love her in this part of the world? Understandably so.
So back at the tee, Un Chun. Starting it down the right-hand side, drawing it back nicely. And 65 yesterday, really putting her into today's equation. Didn't really set off today, however.
All Nasa has to do is do what she did over the first 2 days. She made birdie here, both Friday and Saturday. If she makes birdie here, she wins. We've made reference to the world ranking of Un Chun at 154. That young woman, Hee Kyung Bae, not in the top 100 yet. But the way she's played this week, she's got an entry ticket to that top 100. Striding to victory, perhaps. All she needs to do is make birdie at the final hole, and victory is assured for Nasa Hataoka. Carlotta Segunda with a birdie putt at the final hole to tie Nasa Hataoka in the lead at 13 under. Good. It just needed that little bit more. So the pressure is eased then on Nasa's shoulders. I'm not sure how aware she would be of that down on the fairway, but from second shots at this hole, you get a good look at the green.
And she would have seen Segunda's body language change there as well. And hear the reaction of the crowd. Hit a pitch mark about halfway through that putt, took a bit of a bobble.
No joy for Momoko then in terms of the win, but plenty of joy provided by her for the fans as Nasa does keep a close eye on what's going on. Surely she is now aware of what's happened. She now knows that a par will be enough. Whilst the local fans are hoping that Nasa does raise the trophy, they've loved what they've seen from this woman, 32 years of age. What a competitor she is. What a favourite she is. And what an appropriate way to finish. A birdie at the last for the dual winner. Momoko Ueda may very well fall just one shy. And her compatriot gives us the sign of things to come. Brilliant performance from Saki Nagamine. She's 141 in the world. Not for long, you wouldn't think.
It was an impressive showing from Saki this week, just 23 years of age.
A good long look, but no problems. Just what the doctor ordered. Seems very difficult to imagine she wouldn't make par from there.
Hee Kyung Bae having a real go at that.
What a walk this is in front of your home gallery. She won in Arkansas earlier this year. That's a great achievement when you win for the first time on the biggest tour there is. But when you can do it in front of your home crowd, that's a moment that you will cherish. Perhaps we need to check her birth certificate to see whether she really is 19, because at times today she's behaved a lot older than that.
And that's really fed all the way through her game this year. Her coach, Gareth Jones, said her scheduling, the way that she's practiced throughout the week has all been towards Sunday performance and getting better on these final rounds. Taken more breaks, played less holes early on to prepare herself for moments like these today.
So many fabled champions on this trophy in this event, formerly known as the Mizuno Classic and now the TOTO Japan Classic, thanks to the great support of TOTO in recent years. The two people regarded by many who sit at the top of the echelon, the top of the tree, Annika Sorenstam and Kari Webb, have got their names on the trophy. Annika's only done it 5 times. Betsy King and Nancy Lopez, a couple of the names from a different era. So this year it looks like being a star on the rise who's going to add to that storied list. Naturally, most of the eyes on Nasa, but an important shot for Jae Un Chun as well. Up and down from here. And she finishes in double digits under par. And she might. They're ready to roar. Two putts from there and the victory is hers. And a big, deep exhale as the pressure comes off a little bit. It won't come off completely until the last putt goes in.
of approaches into the 18th.
The media gathers. The announcement is made.
Coming up first from the Republic of Korea, Un Chun. And up next from Japan, Nasa Hatoka. And from the Republic of Korea, Kane.
We've spoken so many times this week about the importance of getting yourself off to a good start in any golf tournament. When it's a 3-round tournament, you have to get that score on the board early, and that's something Nasa was able to do with that first round 66.
And something she was able to continue, really, to force the issue on that front nine today.
She knows. It's been another great performance, though. That third win isn't too far away.
Well, you'd be hard-pressed to find a player that plays with more passion than Carlotta Segunda.
最初が切れる。最初のでもカップ際はあんまないんですよ。これ合わせ目でいかなあかんから、最初のここの分だけはこっから切れへんのかな。だからまあちょっとじゃないでもフライスは。
So it is a measure of the international nature of this event. That only 7 times before has it been won by Japanese players. Things got a bit bumpy on Sunday for a little while for the 19-year-old, but she showed maturity beyond her years to fix that. And that is the way to do it. A win feels good anywhere. In front of your home gallery, that is unforgettable. If you had any doubts about this young lady being a rising star in the game, they've certainly been dispelled this week. And her 2 playing companions can also take a lot out of this week. Un Chun to close with a birdie. That would have taken her up into a tie for 7th with Amy Yang, but it's still a top 10 finish. Had you have offered that to her at the start of the week, she would have taken it with open arms. 71 to close for the world number 154. Meantime, our final group is playing the last hole, and we'll catch up with them in a moment. Sakura Koiwai just playing her 2nd shot there momentarily, and we haven't really had to worry or focus too much about them. Not often you say that about a collective final group on a final day, but all the action's been here. So it will be just a par at the last and a round of 73 for Hee Kyung Bae. We've already talked about the importance of this win today in terms of what happens in Florida in a couple of weeks' time. What Nasa Hataoka has been able to do now is to give herself a chance of an outright victory in the tournament and winning the race, because she's got herself up into the top 5. Well done to Hee Kyung Bae. Not the final round she was after. A hug from the champion in waiting. Carlotta can only think about a couple of moments back through the round and think about what might have been, but that shot where she righted the ship at the 14th hole. We spoke at the time, Ali, of how important that shot was, and now even more so. That was a phenomenal shot. That set up the victory.
It was the hinge of her round today. And her ball striking really has been truly incredible so far, and it completely took pressure off her on the greens, which is exactly what you want in a final round.
It was an appropriate way to finish. The second LPGA victory, second of many, you'd have to think. Just 19 years of age, the world is her oyster. And sometimes the hardship that you go through, and the hardship that she went through in 2017 when the expectations were high, sometimes that can steel you for what's ahead, and it might have turned out that that could have been the best thing that happened to her.
Well, it's just another showing of her maturity. Instead of fighting it out on the LPGA, she came home and played on the JLPGA, got her confidence back, got a couple of wins under her belt, and returned a better player for it this year.
So we still have 3 players out on the golf course. One of them is Jie Shin, who came in here with high hopes today. Here she is with her 3rd shot at this final hole. If she can make birdie, she'll still be over par for the day. And she probably will make birdie. Great experience for this 20-year-old to play in front of these galleries. She'll only derive a great deal of benefit from this.
Something about this layout just sits well with Sakura Koi-White, runner-up in July at an event at this very golf course on the JLPGA. Not the day she was looking for, nor for Minji Lee. Chance to finish on a little bit of a high note. And at least they can delight the crowds at the final hole.
The look on Minji's face tells you what sort of day it's been, and the look on Nasa's face told you what sort of day it's been for her. And the answer was a very good day.
First from the Republic of Korea, Jie Shin.
Let's have a look back at it. 3rd shot at 6. After making birdie at the 2nd and the 4th, almost holed it. A 3rd birdie. She was on the charge, and Minji was going in the other direction.
The charge on the front 9. It continued. Perfectly placed with the birdie putt on the right side of the green at the 9th. the par 3 for her 4th birdie of the round. She applied pressure and she did it early on today.
But in the scheme of things, this was the most important shot she hit all day. Couldn't see where the pin was, had put it in the bunker, she'd been going left off the tee, and then she came up with that, and all of a sudden the wobble that she had in the previous few holes was nothing but a distant memory.
Pars all the way to 18. And then this, an appropriate finish. And the hometown hero collected her 2nd career LPGA title in front of her home fans.
A great day, a day that Nasa Hataoka won't forget ever, when you can do it in front of your countrymen and women. So the last rites then of this 2018 edition of the TOTO Japan Classic, a day that promised so much for Australia's Minji Lee at the beginning of the day when she led by 3. And as it turns out, she is going to finish 7 shots adrift of the winner. We know she's not feeling that well. She'll be able to tell us how much of a factor that was, but it was, as they say, one of those days. She's taking it all in. Just fresh-faced 20-year-old. Maybe she's too young to be frightened.
You know, it is an absolute credit to the Japan Golf Association. These are the players that they've been investing in for the last 5-10 years. And we're starting to reap the rewards as spectators here, especially this week. It's been fun to watch.
Not so much fun for Minji, as you can tell. But it's always fun when we get to watch GA. We don't get to do it enough these days because she plies her trade in this part of the world. But it's always a joy to see her in action. Like Minji, not the day she was after, but she'll win again. She always finds a way to win. She's done it 53 times.
This goes in and it's a guaranteed top 10 finish for Sakura Koiwai, and deservedly so. The star of the next generation perhaps to come from Japan. And what a great showing it was from her here this week. Anytime you can go into Sunday in a final group, they're the learning experiences that you can't pay for.
So the trophy presentation isn't too far away for Nasa Hataoka. She's heading in the direction of the trophy and a few other things as well. A magnificent Mercedes A-Class. This is the way she did it in front of her home gallery. And so now to the winner, the spoils, here's Kate Booth.
It's another wonderful finish on this Asian swing, and we have a teenager lifting the trophy in Japan. I'm delighted to welcome our presentation party. To my far left, Madoka Kitamura, the tournament chairman for TOTO Japan Classic, our champion in 2018, Nasa Hataoka, and Charlie is going to act as our translator. Nasa, to win an LPGA event in Japan on home soil, you must be so proud.
日本で LPGA の試合優勝、本当に嬉しいんじゃないですか？
そうですね、本当に始まる前から勝ちたいっていう気持ちがすごく強かったので、 日本で勝ててよかったです。
I'm so proud. I'm so happy to win this event. And I wanted to win this tournament before it began, so I'm really happy to accomplish it.
I bet. But it was close. You got off to a brilliant start, and then you dropped a couple of shots on 11 and 12. What did you say to yourself on 13?
でも接戦でしたよね。で、11番、12番連続ボギーで、スコアを落とした後、13番ティーはどういう気持ちで挑みましたか？
誰にでも試練は来ると思ったので、そこが自分の試練なんだなっていう気持ちでやってて、でも13番からはまだちょっとショットはブレてましたけど、落ち着いてプレーができたかなと思います。
I realized something has to come to me, and it has to get through it. And I knew it was up the 13th hole, and I was not totally comfortable with the shot, but it's calm enough to play well on that hole.
Well, you certainly played well. It was a brilliant birdie that you had on the 14th. And how good was the birdie on 18? Nasa, you are our winner in 2018. And if I can please ask Madoka Kitamura-san to present the trophy to our champion, the TOTO Japan Classic champion of 2018, Nasa Hataoka.
A very worthy champion she is too. $225,000 to add to the $1 million+ that she's already collected this season. And just get ready to see her name on honour rolls and leaderboards and money lists up the top for years to come, because she's got what it takes. We've seen that in spades this week. She's very impressive, and her margin of victory at the end was 2. Carlotta Segunda, Momoko Ueda, Saki Nagamine tying for second at 12 under. Jin Young Ko and Ji Hee Lee in a tie for fifth at 11 under. So what does that mean for the race to the CME Globe? Minji Lee 913 points behind Area Jutanagan, but look at NASA. That is the important one. She has moved up into the top 4, so her destiny can be in her own hands in lots of ways in Florida. Jin Young Ko finds herself just outside that top 5 with a good performance here. But that is such a significant moment for NASA, because now she knows she can go to Florida Alley. If she wins the tournament, she wins the race.
And she goes into the off-season in style, but how lucky are we that it just seems as though every superstar that comes out of Japan is a little ray of sunshine, and that's exactly what Nasa Hataoka is in the next generation. She's had great role models in Ai Miyazato, Momoko Ueda. There's something in the water in this part of the world.
Just the best way to finish for Nasa Hataoka, and she takes the championship in front of her home galleries. So the caravan moves on to the last stop on the Asian swing, the Blue Bay Lpga on Hainan Island in China next week. Hope you've enjoyed the week here. On behalf of Kate Burton, Ali Whittaker, and our entire team headed by Michael O'Dwyer and Wayne Suter, Peter Donegan wishing you farewell from Seta Golf Course in Shiga in Japan, and congratulations to Nasa Hataoka, the champion in the TOTO Japan Classic.